What's up everyone, there are over 100 pals in Palworld, and today I want to talk about some of the best ones you can try and go get early on. Some of these give you free pal spheres, some increase your carry weight, we'll go over the first flying mount you can get, and then just some really good workers. I'll go over what they're good for and where you can get them. Let's start first with probably the most important as a new player, and that is getting unlimited pal spheres. And to do that, you can capture a pal called Vixie. When you get to level 5 and unlock the ranch, Vixie can use the ranch to work. They basically sit in the ranch and produce goods. And they produce arrows and pal spheres as the main things. So if you just have a couple of Vixies in the ranch, every time you come back to your base, you can just run in there and pick up like 10 plus pal spheres, a bunch of arrows, and it's just such a good boost early on. I think I got like 3 Vixies, chucked them in there, and never had to craft arrows, never had to craft basic pal spheres. So if you head here, which is like the small settlement in the sandy area at the very start, the very early part of the game, you just go a bit left to this sandy area, there's like a settlement, head up these steps here, and you'll find an area where there are pals. Now there's a chance for Vixie to spawn here. If you don't see any here, just keep heading north, head out of the yellow area into like the more grass area, and there'll be more chances for Vixies to spawn here, and it's always in the daytime. So if you just keep roaming around these areas, going back to the fast travel point and heading north again, eventually you'll find Vixies, and you'll never have to worry about pal spheres again. Another hurdle to get over in the early game is your carry weight. As you go over and you chop trees or collect stone, or you want to head further out and collect ore, you have a limited amount of weight you can carry. So as you go further out, you can only bring back so much. If you have Cativer in your party, the cat helper, he will increase your maximum carry weight on your character. So if you can just catch a bunch of Cativers, which is a good thing to do anyway, you can just fill your party with these Cativers, doesn't matter what level they are, and every single one will increase your maximum carry weight. There are better pals for this later in the game, but early on when you don't have much carry weight and the only way to increase it really is to spend your stat points on weight increases, this is a huge boost and lets you really bring more stuff back to your base at a time when you don't have that setup at the start where, you know, the pals mine everything for you. You know, you have to do everything manually. So yeah, these are really good. And as you can see, they're everywhere. So as you first spawn in that bottom right corner, they're all over there. And then if you head either northeast, southwest, they're all over those starter areas too. So you should be able to get a ton of these, no problem. Okay, now riding mounts is pretty fun, but the flying mount is when the game really starts to open up. You can get places faster, you can get across the oceans and up the mountains. And on top of this, you can catch pals from the back of a flying mount. So you can attack down at a pal and then throw a ball at it and catch it without ever having to stop. So you can get your first rideable flying mount at level 15. So at level 15, if you've caught a Nightwing, you can craft the Nightwing saddle, which is the earliest flying mount available. There are much better flying mounts later on, but their saddles need very high level requirements. So although this isn't the best or the fastest, it's the first one you can get. So again, this pal is everywhere. Nightwings are just everywhere. In the daytime, in the starter area, pretty much from this middle area all the way across, all the way northeast, all the way southwest on both of the big starter areas where everything's like between level 10 and 20, you can find these Nightwings in the air. Try and have some sort of bow or some sort of like ranged weapon to catch it. But yeah, you just head into those areas, grab one, craft the saddle, and you've got your first flying mount. Okay, now let's talk about automating some of the manual stuff like hitting trees and rocks. At level 7, you unlock the logging site and the mining site, which is where you can get workers to chop trees and mine rocks for you. So let's get some good workers for these two places. For the logging site, I would recommend Ecthirideer. This is the big deer with the huge antlers. This thing has a level 2 in logging, and it's available all over the starting areas in the daytime. You see all over here, any of the low-level starter zones, you can find Ecthirideer just roaming around. It's quite a hard one to catch like at the low levels, but once you get past 10 and you've got a good pal to throw at it, it's not too bad. So yeah, I was up here when I found my first few, and yeah, they are amazing at lumbering. They'll just whack their head against the trees all day and you'll never have to chop a tree again. Okay, now for mining, the real goat here is Digtoys, but they're kind of mid-game. They're in the desert. They're kind of hard to get. So I'd recommend in the early game to try and find yourself a Tombat. These are the big cat bat-like creatures, and they have a level 2 in mining, but they also have a level 2 in transporting and gathering, making them incredible early additions to your camp, as they can really do, they're kind of like a jack of all trades kind of thing, but level 2 in everything they do. A couple of these in your camp and you really feel it. So you have to go out at night. So if we flick night on here, they're available everywhere. Everywhere in the starter area. If you go out at night, you should run into a Tombat eventually. So I would definitely suggest go get yourself one of those. Okay, mining and lumberjacking, automated. Let's talk about a harder pal to get, but really good if you can get it early because it does a lot. This is the Pen King. I think this is an incredibly designed pal, and it's one of my favorites. You see here watering. it's not only a good waterer, it has a level 2 in handiwork, mining, cooling, watering, and transportation. It's available down here, which is really kind of advanced. So rather than head into this high level area to try and catch it, what I would recommend is if you open your map and you go up here, so it's kind of like near the start of this red area, kind of leave the beginner zone and go into this red area, the very top right of the red area, there's this big circle and it's kind of like a boss room, the sealed realm of the frozen wings. If you head into here, you can fight kind of the boss Pen King, and it's not as hard as it might seem. The boss is only level 15, but it hits pretty hard, but all its attacks are very telegraphed, and you can stand behind the pillars to avoid them. So yeah, just kind of like throw your pals out, let them do the damage, maybe have a bow, step out, do a few attacks, bring a good few balls, and you can catch this early. And yeah, this is a great pal to catch early on. If you're really struggling to catch it, try and find large damp eggs on your travels. Just fly around, look for eggs, and put them in the incubator, and you can get it in an egg. So yeah, if you have the large damp eggs, chuck them in the incubator, there is a chance that it'll have a Pen King. So yeah, that'll save you the whole boss fight. But yeah, the boss fight's guaranteed. The eggs are easier, but more random. Next, this is the last one because it's a little bit harder to get. Lavender. The stats on this are, again, crazy. It's got a 2 in transport, a 2 in medicine once you need that, and a 2 in handiwork. So for crafting, it can craft your stuff really, really fast. You know, once you start crafting arrows and nails and all that sort of stuff, it will get them really quick. This is available at night in the desert area. So it's a bit more advanced, which is why I've left it till last. You know, you want to be around level 20 to 25, I'd say, before you go here. Or it's available up in the north, the very northeast. Now, these things are obviously a little harder to catch, a little more endgamey, but I put them here because there's a very easy way to get these. They raid you. So as I think when I was like level 10, I got raided by lavanders and caught like 2 of them. So I wouldn't say to go into the desert and hunt these, but if you get raided by them or if you want to make the trip out, they're a really good boost. Mostly because like at the lower levels, you can only have so many pals at a time. So having pals like this that have 4 stats, like a lot of level 2s, obviously you can go and get a Lift Monk, and I could tell you to go and get a Tansy because they can do 5 different things. But they all do those things at level 1. They all do those things badly. So I would say try your best to go and get these level 2 workers that can do multiple things at level 2, because with 5 or 6 of these really good workers that can do multiple things at level 2, you really don't have to worry about lots of the stuff in your base. They automate stone, wood, crafting, medicine, transportation, farming, and it just becomes a non-issue for you. So it's a really good idea to try and get these early, and then you've kind of got a big gap then before you have to worry about getting the level 3s. But yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope this has helped, because I think it's quite intimidating with like over 100 pals to catch, and you know, you don't know what's good, what's not. These are some that I think will really help. They've really helped me, and they're some of my favorites. But if you have any recommendations down below, obviously let everyone else know. Is there something out there that's even better than this? Is there something, maybe there's something you've breeded that's amazing, like a level 3 that you can breed really early on? Let people know down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one.